The distress beacon had been broadcasting for 6 standard days from the research station on Kepler 442b. 6 days of screaming, pleading, and then silence. The Galactic Council had written off the 847 scientists from 12 different species as casualties of their own hubris. They had ignored the warnings about the Void Stalkers. Absolutely not. Chancellor Threx's tentacles writhed in agitation as he addressed the emergency session. The Void Stalkers are apex predators beyond classification. They hunt in packs, phase through solid matter, and feed on neural tissue while their prey is still conscious. No rescue mission has ever returned from a stalker hunting ground. The holographic display showed the research station, a gleaming dome surrounded by the twisted remains of evacuation ships. Dark shapes moved between the wreckage, shadows with too many limbs and eyes that burned like dying stars. "The facility is lost," declared Ambassador Korth, his crystalline body chiming with finality. "We must accept this tragedy and ensure it never happens again." That's when the human delegation stood up. Captain Sarah Mitchell, representing the Terran Colonial Marines, stepped forward with the kind of smile that made seasoned diplomats nervous. "With respect, Chancellor, we volunteer for the rescue operation." The council chamber erupted in chittering, clicking, and harmonic discord that passed for shocked conversation among the galaxy's civilized species. "Captain," Threx's voice carried the patience one might use with a particularly slow child. "Perhaps you misunderstood. These are Void Stalkers, nightmare incarnate. Your species may be tenacious, but they are beyond anything you've encountered." Sarah's smile widened. "Sir, with all due respect, you clearly haven't read our service records." She gestured, and her aide activated a holographic display showing human military operations. Images flashed by: soldiers charging through alien battlefields while laughing, Marines using Thanatosian death worms as surfboards, pilots performing impossible maneuvers while their ships were literally on fire. "This is madness," Ambassador Korth whispered. "Ma'am," Sarah's aide, Sergeant Williams, leaned over to whisper, "They think we're insane." "Good," Sarah replied loudly enough for the entire chamber to hear. "Sanity is overrated anyway." The Zephyrian representative, a being of pure energy, flickered with concern. "Captain Mitchell, your species' reputation for unconventional tactics is well known. But the Void Stalkers have eliminated entire civilizations. They are the apex predator of apex predators." Sarah exchanged glances with her team, 5 humans who looked like they'd been specifically selected for their ability to smile at inappropriate times. "Respectfully, Ambassador," she said, "we're from Earth. We climbed to the top of the food chain on a planet where literally everything was trying to kill us. We domesticated wolves, made friends with sharks, and taught bears to dance. Our ancestors looked at saber-toothed tigers and thought, 'Nice kitty.'" The chamber fell silent. "Besides," added Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, polishing his plasma rifle, "it's been 3 whole weeks since we've had a proper suicide mission. The boys are getting restless." Chancellor Threx's tentacles went rigid. You're actually volunteering to fight creatures that have never been defeated?" "Fight them," Corporal Davis laughed, checking his equipment. "Sir, we're going to rescue 847 beings from an impossible situation while probably discovering new and creative ways to kill interdimensional nightmare monsters. This is basically a Tuesday for us. Plus," added Sergeant Chen, strapping on enough explosive charges to level a city block, "the survivors probably have great stories. We love good war stories." Ambassador Korth's crystalline body dimmed. "This is beyond madness. This is Tuesday," the entire human team said in unison. Within the hour, the UTS Absolutely No Survivors was burning toward Kepler 442b at speeds that violated several laws of physics and at least 2 laws of common sense. The ship's name had been Sarah's idea. She believed in accurate advertising. As they approached the research station, the scanner operator called out, "Captain, I'm reading at least 40 Void Stalkers surrounding the facility. They're playing with the survivors." Sarah cracked her knuckles. "Sergeant Williams, load the fun ammunition." Rodriguez prepped the party favors. Chun, how many of those special grenades do we have left? Enough to make this memorable, ma'am. The ship's intercom crackled as Sarah addressed her team. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 847 beings counting on us to do the impossible. The galaxy thinks we're insane for trying. The enemy thinks we're prey. The absolutely no survivors screamed into the planet's atmosphere, weapon systems charging, while its crew prepared to prove that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their numbers. It was their complete inability to understand the word impossible. Let's show these apex predators what happens when they mess with species under human protection, Sarah announced as the ship's engines began their landing burn. Time to go be unreasonably heroic. In the research